There are people who leave your life but somehow never leave the room. Hi everyone, welcome back to Between Us. I'm Dina Salema, and today I want to talk about the invisible guest theory, but not the one that we all know, the one about the ballroom and how one is so worried about themselves and how they look. That's not what I want to address today, but I didn't come up with it, but this concept that I've been thinking about, I feel fits so much into the title, The Invisible Guest Theory. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So yeah, without talking too much, let's just get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, what is the invisible guest theory? I genuinely think it's not the person who left your life, but it's their presence still lingering around. And by that I mean their voice still in your head, affecting your decisions or affecting you, or the version of yourself that was with them that is no longer there. It's just how they affect you, and it's crazy to me because someone who's no longer in your life, assuming they should not affect you, they still do. And I genuinely think that I cannot stress this enough, and this needs to be talked about. But I'm gonna first quietly shift the narrative and speak about how you can love someone and still choose not to go back. Loving someone and choosing not to go back, I feel, is the most thing that requires maturity, discipline, and strength. Because it is so hard to know that you still care about this person. You want to spend every moment of every day with this person, whether it's a friend or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever it is. But you are wise enough and mature enough to know that this person is not good for you, and that environment that you guys are in together is not good at all. It's just toxic. I believe that it's normal human nature that you can love someone so much but still have the wisdom of not going back. And I genuinely respect any person who implements this in their life, because it is so hard. And I've been in that position. I know friends who have been in that position. And I'm not saying that, oh, you're going to do it straight away. You're going to break up or lose the friend or whatever, and you're never going to go back. No, there are times where you might break and you might try and reach out again, or you might think of them from every day, every hour of every day. But that's normal. But what my key advice is to shift that power and all that energy you're wasting on thinking about them to yourself, and shift it on moving forward and moving on to greater things. Because you guys do not understand that there is so much aligned for you, and there's so much more coming. A lot more is coming. Now, there's another end of it, which is falling out of love with someone and still missing them. Just a week ago, me and my friends were having this debate about, you can fall out of love with someone, or you no longer are interested in someone, but you still miss them. And there are two sides of the spectrum here that I'm going to talk about. The first side is the person who fell out of love. See, you as a person who fell out of love, you already passed through the stages of a breakup, and I'm assuming you are mostly healed, or more healed than the person who now has to go through the process of the breakup. So for you as a person, I know that you still might care about that person, or you miss them, but you need to be wise enough and caring enough and choose not to be selfish, and not try and contact that person or see if they're still wrapped around your finger, or call them or try and see them. And I know it might be done with pure intentions, but that just brings that person down and down and down. When honestly speaking, if you as a person care enough and miss them enough, you will give them their space. You will give them their time to actually move on and be able to analyze the situation, because you were a daily routine in each other's lives. You guys would, I'm assuming, either call her every day or text every day or see each other every day. And it's so hard, because imagine having a routine just whoop out of your life. You know what I mean? So as a person who fell out of love, as much as you miss that person, if you care enough about them, you will know not to go back or not to try and reach out until they have fully healed. Now, the other side of it is the person who's now going through the stages of the breakup. You you are still in love with the person and you still miss them, and that's normal. But now you have to put yourself first. And as much as that sounds selfish, I cannot stress this enough. People need to put themselves first in so many situations. I was the type to put myself first when it came to what was best for my future. And it comes with so much guilt, and I understand that, because you can abandon people or abandon something or abandon someone, but you need to do what's best for you. So my advice to a person who was in a relationship and someone fell out of love with them, it's not you. You are not the problem. It's life. It happens. The person outgrew you. It happens. So instead of asking, oh, what's wrong with me? Oh, am I the one at fault? Oh, what did I do? What could I have done better? But what if? Use all that energy and implement it into yourself and start moving forward, saying, okay, this is a lesson learned. This person was probably a lesson for me. I'm going to take that lesson and improve myself to the better, move forward. And I'm not saying it's easy. It is not easy, and it's going to require time, energy, a lot of things. And you are going to break at some points. You can go a week feeling great. Oh, I'm over this person. But then the next week, you're reminiscing the moments and nostalgia hits. And nostalgia is also something I want to talk about. When, and especially through a breakup, between a friendship or a relationship, nostalgia is a trap. Because nostalgia only reminds you of the good parts. It doesn't remind you of how you were treated or the pain you went through or the hurt that person put you through. It does not remind you of any of these things. You just reminisce the good moments. And that's when you're like, I want to go back. That's when the crave comes in of you wanting to reach out or you wanting to go back, or I miss them and I cannot do this without them. Yes, you can. You have lived your life before this person came into your life just fine, and you will be just fine after this person as well. I genuinely think you can fall out of love with someone and still miss them. Some of my friends don't. We had this conversation. Most of them actually don't. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that you can fall out of love with someone and still miss them? Now, I'm going to revert back to the invisible guest theory and how this all links together. For me, I went, and I'm going to explain it from a personal experience because it's easier for me to get my message through this way instead of defining it word for word. For me, I was in a past thing, and I'm not gonna get into too much detail, and that person is long gone. It's been over, and it happened years ago. But I realized that what they did to me, what happened between us, everything still affected my decisions in my current life so much. With new people coming into my life, I always linked that person to these people. And it's like their voice and everything that happened and all the past memories just flood into this new connection or friendship that I'm making. And it affected it so much until one day I realized, why am I still implementing this person's thoughts and their conduct into my new atmosphere? Why am I bringing the past into the future? And that's when I realized, and I started moving differently to how I used to move. And I was like, not everyone, because I used to see everyone as that person. I used to believe that everyone is as evil or as wicked and will have that much effect on me as that person. But then I realized that not everyone is like that. I just feel like I was so stuck on the fact that I had to implement everything they did to me in every new connection I make. And quite frankly, that just built up a barrier and a wall of me fully opening up or not fully trusting, but trusting someone. You know what I mean? And as soon as I stopped having that invisible guest just lurking around my thoughts and my actions and how I move towards things, that's when life became 10 times more better. Because now I'm like, this person, they were plucked out of my life. They're having their time. They're having their life. So why am I still sat here implementing their actions into my life? Why am I still giving them so much power over me that they do not deserve? As a person who's not even in my life. you can prevent someone from sitting down even if the chair is empty. And by that, I mean that you can prevent someone from coming into your life even though you're single or you're in need of friends or blah, blah. You can prevent someone from doing that just because you blocked yourself from it. No one is blocking it but your thoughts. And that's what I mean by the invisible guest theory. It's that it's crazy to me how much someone can have so much effect on a person when they're no longer in their life. That's why, guys, instead of asking yourselves, what could I have done better? What if? Shift all that energy into yourself. Because trust me, nothing is going to benefit you more than this. I want to end this podcast in a different way than I usually end my previous videos. And it's a question. And the question is, if they came back exactly the same, would you feel relief? Or would you realize that you've outgrown this person? That's all I'm going to say. So guys, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. And thank you for staying for this long. I'm going to be posting again consecutively because I just finished exam so I can finally breathe. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.